1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I don't know why I do that. I've hung around a lot of hip hop artists back in the day. What is good? And it used to be always one mic check 1 2 1 2. And I'm 44 years old, still doing that same stuff from back in the day. What's up? What's up, everybody? I'm live. Yesterday, I just got my orange juice here. Sorry. Yesterday, I felt like an adult, and it lasted for a day. I got some stuff done today, but there's always a list of things to do. I'm talking about like household chores and call this person and do this. Got to do. I literally have to put everything on a list or I don't remember it. Stresses my wife out, but we'll make it through. Nothing big. How's everybody doing today? Had to go live a little early. We'll be going out to dinner with the family. Every once in a while, it's good to go out. It's grateful. I'm grateful for that. Growing up, Old Country Buffet is how we went out. Anybody know OCB? We used to like, hey, we're going to the OCB. We're eating good. And that'd be like a couple times a year. What's up? If people don't know, my parents are Jamaican. My mom is an excellent cook. But we grew up not just eating, traditionally Jamaican meals, but American meals too. But my mom is a hell of a cook. But sometimes going out was the thing to do. I go out now way more than I did growing up. Dina Marie, what's up? She was just watching. I actually had that in my radar. Biden's crashing polls. I don't have much to say about it, but other than he's done. And it looks kind of funny when you look at the polling. You're going to see a lot of overlap. I like how Tim Pool thinks there's going to be a lot of overlap. We're going to have different takes like the Joe Rogan one, but I appreciate you stopping by. If you can't make the lives, it's okay. I want you to join, but subscribe to the Clips channel. Like Eric July is that dude. Young Ripper, he's that dude. But I can't catch his lives all the time. So he has them on the same channel, but if he had him on a different channel, I would subscribe to his clips and I listen to every single one of his clips. This is an interesting day. Topics got Jim Jones. Jim Jones back in the news. Gucci. And we're not talking about a flash mob with Gucci. Capitol Police wilding out. Wilding. Allegedly. Don't say gay Florida bill. I want to talk about that from the standpoint of love, but also still trying to make the case of what's happening here. I want to do a deep dive on that because the bill is really called, I just had it pulled up. It's like parental rights is really the real name of the bill. The don't say gay is just, obviously slander or whatever, the framing, how certain people are framing it. But I think we get so many opportunities in this country to come together and they're used to divide us. And I think we can come together even though we might disagree. I still think we can come together. And maybe I'm just I'm never going to lose that. I don't think I'm ever going to lose that hope because I think it's true. Even though at the end of the day, I say breaking up might be the right thing to do. Right, Sarah Silverman? I do subscribe to Twitter Blue. I think Twitter Blue, at least for my purposes, it's very, what is it, $2, $3 a month. I know I'm feeding the beast. I know, but like I use Amazon Prime. Like it's hard not to feed the beast. But Twitter Blue, for my purposes, works very well. What I'm going to do here is just I look at it to see what articles are trending with the people I follow. NPR.org. Which skin color emoji should you use? The answer can be more complex than you think. That's my feeling I get. I just want to look at it and I just want to just drool. I don't know. When I see a headline like that, I almost want to look at it and have drool coming out of my mouth, like Homer Simpson. Like, what happened to NPR? I grew up listening to NPR almost. I listened to NPR almost daily growing up. NPR was great, and maybe it's just I was in a different place. Who knows? That very well could be part of it. I don't know. NPR has become, for lack of a better term, an embarrassment. Remember the car guys on NPR? Anybody else watch NPR? What was it called? Car Talk. They had that game show that was good, and good music talk, and even the shows were good. Now we're talking about which skin color emoji. Is this serious? This can't be serious. This has to be Babylon. Which skin color emoji should you use? The answer can be more complex than you think. There are about 5 skin tone emojis to choose from. But doing so, I didn't even get to see the rest of that. Jeez. And then the Twitter Blue, if you don't subscribe to it, it gives you the article. Then you can see what people are tweeting about it. Like in this column over here, somebody said, is it possible some academics have too much time on their hands? I think it's more than possible. I think that's been proven. Chad says F off. I alternate emoji choice based on various factors, including how much sun I've been getting, fur levels, and how recently I've been dipped in butter. You know, I use the yellow emoji. What is this? Like, who cares? Yeah, oh my, I didn't even realize. Yeah, the next one is like, who cares? Man, they are really on one with this identity. Cori Bush, everything she says, identity this, identity that. Just like, man, you must, I hate to say it, I just think about it like, I wouldn't want to be around a person like that. Queen Josie of all the liberty. Yet another person I found out about on Tim Pool a while back. She was on. Didn't know who she was before that. She said, I was reliably told this would be a winter of severe illness and death. She has a point. Like, remember? Yeah, that did happen. Like, these are things that didn't happen like a year ago. Like, these things recently happened.
Vaccinated, we are looking at a winter of severe illness and death for unvaccinated. For themselves, their families, and the hospitals they'll soon overwhelm.
It's like it.
You know, you want a prediction about the weather. You're asking the wrong Phil. I'll give you a winter prediction. It's going to be cold, it's going to be gray, and it's going to last you for the rest of your life.
I don't know why they sound like Marvel villains when they talk. I don't know why. But we didn't get any follow-up. Like, I was expecting this winter of death, which is a bad thing. I would hope everyone would agree, right? We didn't get a winter of death. And so far, like, there's no follow-up, like, thank God it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. Like, isn't that a normal reaction? We said that based on these projections or these reasons, and we're so happy that it's not going that way. We get no follow-up. It's like it never happened. Things are weird out here. Dina Marie was talking about Tim Pool. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I will watch it later. Tim Pool was talking about Biden's approval, his approval ratings, and I don't have much to say. I really don't. These have been tanking for a while, and I haven't really done any videos on it or anything. Just take a look. The dark line is his approval. It's going to the basement. The red line is his disapproval. It's going to reaching for the stars. Like, I know it's Black History Month, but is he trying to throw up the X for Malcolm X or something? That's not what's supposed to happen with your approval and disapproval ratings. They're not supposed to diverge like that to form the letter X. I don't want to keep reiterating myself, but this isn't the man you want to impeach, is it? It's like you have a horrible player on the other team, whatever sport you're playing, and you want to take him out the game? If this guy's fumbling the ball like Russell Westbrook hitting the side of the backboard, keep him in, coach. I'm not taking him out of the game, even though it's justified. What's up, everybody coming in? What's up? What's up? So that's the radar for today. Hope everybody's feeling well. Yeah, just got a lot of stuff on my mind. So this is actually good to do these shows because I can take my mind off a lot of that stuff. I'm going to talk about Jim Jones. I'm going to do Jim Jones, then the Capitol Police, and then the Don't Say Gay bill, which is being misframed. I just want to talk about it. And on how do we come together on these type of things note. There's a lot going on in the news. I just took this random picture. It doesn't have, it's probably old. But we all know, I just shared my Twitter Blue timeline. There's a ton going on in the news. We all know that every day, always. But with the news cycle how it is now, this is way different than the 90s. With all that going on, why would I bring up Jim Jones right now? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's hear.
We've been in Gucci for about an hour, right? And we in Gucci in the VIP.
We've been in Gucci for like 2 hours.
Right? Since we came in here having nobody came and showed us no courtesy, no amenities, no nothing. Period. Not even a drink of water. Asked to speak to manager. Send me a black guy out here that started telling me some bullshit. So they got the black guy racial profiling on black people.
Okay, let me bring this back and set some context. He says, well, first of all, is he in a club or is he in Gucci? Like a store? The Gucci store has a VIP? So just to set the context, this guy's a former, I don't think he rap. Does he rap anymore? He's a former rapper or a current rapper, whatever. And he's in a Gucci store. I think it's a store. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. He rolls up in there and he's about to drop 30,000 for whatever he's doing. I don't know. I don't even know what the hell he's doing. But it's $29,000 for whatever the hell he's doing. And this is so he wasn't happy with the customer service is basically what it came down to. And while it's happening, he decided to go live and talk about it. Let's bring it back.
We've been in Gucci for about an hour, right? And we in Gucci in the VIP.
We've been in Gucci for like 2 hours.
Right? Since we came in here having nobody came and showed us no courtesy, no amenities, no nothing. Period. Not even a drink of water.
Look at his face. He looks like he thinks he's doing something, like he's saying something profound, like he's some type of social leader in the country or something. Look at his face and the angle of his chin and all that.
Nobody came and showed us no courtesy, no amenities, no nothing. Period. Not even a drink of water. Asked to speak to manager. Send me a black guy out here that start telling me some bullshit. So they got the black guy racial.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to keep interrupting this one because thoughts just keep going in my head. I don't like the term Karen. It's just me personally. If somebody uses it, I'm not going to be offended or anything, but I try not to use that. The reason I bring that up, though, is look at the power of race. Imagine if this was a white woman. They would be calling her Super Karen. They'd be drawing up costumes for her. They would be using her as the poster for white privilege. Up in a Gucci, dropping 30 large, and you're angry about sparkling water. But it's Jim Jones. It was trending on Twitter, but it doesn't have the same stigma. I know it's a double standard and double standards happen, but what is this, bruh?
Like 2 hours.
Right? Since we came in here having nobody came and showed us no courtesy, no amenities, no nothing. Period. Not even a drink of water. Asked to speak to a manager. Send me a black guy out here that start telling me some bullshit. So they got the black guy racial profiling on black people.
Yeah, and if they were to send a white guy out, I'm sure you would have been much happier.
Asked to speak to a manager bigger than him. Everybody disappeared. Ain't nobody come out yet. I still ain't getting no sparkling water. I still ain't getting no shit.
This ninja and his sparkling water. Bruh. No. You put 29 down, or you're about to spend 29,000. It's not, he's not asking too much to get a sparkling water. But bruh, like is this what your energy's about? We live in a damn good country, don't we? I love this country. I love this America, the beautiful, the great America. A black man can go up in Gucci and be angry he didn't get his sparkling water and be so privileged that he can drop 30 G's after he was just disrespected. God bless America.
Champagne. I still ain't getting nothing. I didn't even have a salesperson inside of my VIP suite the whole time I was there. I had to keep screaming for VIP people to help me out. Now everybody don't know where the real manager is. You heard? I'm tired of this. We spending all this money as entertainers inside these stores. They hire these black people, and these black people are more racist than white people when they get their job. Inside of Gucci. All of a sudden, you stop playing with us, bro. Still haven't seen a manager yet. Still haven't seen a manager yet. Since I'm talking to you right now, a manager still hasn't popped out of Gucci. And the bill is like $29,000, but we didn't pay that yet. You heard? Why would we? They still haven't sent a manager or bottle of sparkling water or anything that says that we appreciate your service for being in here in Gucci and spending that bag.
He's still talking about the water. That's some damn good sparkling water, boy.
The big one.
The big one. They sent this guy.
Why does he have a hype man? So not only has he gone, excuse me for using a word I hate, not only has he gone Karen, he's got a hype man Karen. He said he was up in the Gucci spot for an hour or something like that. Then the hype man was like, no, it's 2 hours. I love this. I need a hype man to run around stores with.
Manager or bottle of sparkling water or anything that says that we appreciate your service for being in here in Gucci and spending that bag.
The big one.
The big one. They sent this guy. What is he possibly going to do? You heard? What is he going to do? Is what I want to know. Still haven't seen a manager. Is there a manager that works here or everybody's just a worker?
This is a grown-ass man. He's a fully grown-ass man with gray and everything. Sometimes you can be an adult, but you never grew up. That's a child we're looking at. That's a boy. You embarrassed yourself, bruh. That's not good. Jim Jones tells rappers this is back in 2019, who have a problem with him wearing Gucci, I'm never hard to find. Just like, come at me. This was the controversy that happened back in 2019 with Gucci. Now, I didn't care. I thought it was weird, but Gucci had this sweater. Like, when you get rich, the fashion actually gets ugly, just my opinion. It gets stupid because you have so much money, you have to justify how weird it is that you have and and it's really more about how unique it is with the brand. So Gucci could release this this plain shirt I have right now. Gucci could sell it for $3,000 and I'll buy it at Walmart for 10, and it's the same damn shirt. I don't care about this situation here, but this happened. They actually did. This is real. They actually had this bizarre sweater that came up over the mouth. I don't think they tried to do any blackface, but people thought it was. They came at Jim Jones. Jim Jones defended Gucci. Oh, so now he's up in Gucci and he's disrespected. You know what the problem is? He doesn't respect himself. That's what the problem is. When the self-validation of wearing a brand is more important than your self-worth. This is from Keiko JD. All of you being tired when you can simply leave and not spend your money with them. Your mind's not right. Why would you go on a live if you came up in the spot to spend $29,000 and they disrespected you and you didn't get that amazing sparkling water that you like? Then walk up out of there and don't do a live. If you start trending, everybody makes a mistake though. So if you start trending for it, maybe use that as a moment for self-reflection. You're looking for validation through Gucci, just like Black Americans are looking through validation through the Democratic Party. If the Democratic Party doesn't say it's so, many Black Americans don't think it's so. It's time to look at yourself and value yourself. I don't need Gucci. This man is like me. Back in high school, I went to a pretty big high school. I think it was about 3,000 people. And, I was younger. Obviously I'm in a much different place. And there's so many, boys and girls mixed together. You want to have a chance to holler at some girls. And the way you look and what you dress, and if you have a car, all that material stuff, material items have never mattered to me more than when I was in that environment, because I felt like I needed it to have an edge or to compete with other people. My mind hadn't matured yet to know that if that's what people need from me, I want to, not be dirty or whatever else, but I don't need Jordans to be whatever. I got Costco shoes now. That money I would spend on Jordans, that's in Tesla stock. This man we're talking about is a boy mentally. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful, slave type way, because calling a guy a boy is dangerous. I'm talking about he is not matured. I'm trying to imagine what my life would have been if I never got out of that mentality. So this guy's doing videos and all that, talking about the material items, but it's not a joke. He's really living that life. He's a mental slave. I thought this was fitting. It's Black History Month, right? What's trending on Twitter? Gucci, because of Jim Jones, and crack, because of Joe Biden. Let me know what you think. Let me check out the chat. Thank you for everyone taking your time, stopping by. And I got to change the times. I want to do it consistently, but I just can't. The schedule's tough. But I'm glad I've been able to do quite a few in a row. I really, really enjoy it. So I want to carve out time to do it. Appreciate my wife for letting me do that. She's watching the kids right now. Let me look at some of the chats. Oh wow, Casual Goat. He says today is his final day smoking. He's gonna quit, save money. Let's get better. Let's empower ourselves. Yes, sir. Always trying to. Man, I've been slipping on the gym. I've been trying to. For a while, I was exercising. At least I'm taking a walk every day. But props to you. He wants to make sure he can get a good job welding. Get that job. Positive. I always think positive thoughts. My wife recently was looking for a job, and that it was a roller coaster ride. And I was like, we got to be positive, like not be fake with ourselves, but be like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to overcome whatever this obstacle is. Company doesn't call you back and stuff like that. So wish you the best, man. Appreciate your support. Looking through some of the other one. Oh, comment was tough. Which? When I forgot, probably the mental slave one, or I don't even know what I'm saying. Was I a little harsh on? And that might be fair if I was a little harsh on him. That's a lack of awareness, though, and we need. I don't mean it to be mean. That's not how I am. But we need people to give each other and I need that for myself too, to give us perspective. There are times where I'm looking at my phone or something like that, and the app doesn't work, or an Apple product doesn't work, and I'm like, man, why is this thing not working? I need perspective. I'm living in the best, one of the best countries in the world. You're the only country with a document like the Constitution. Blessed enough to have a roof over my head. I'm worried about a damn Apple mouse or whatever the case is, or not, always being self-conscious because I got the green screen. No, I still have the chance on YouTube doing my channel, complaining about getting a strike or something like that. Luckily, I haven't had one in a minute, but I still am grateful for the opportunity. We all need perspective, and that's all Jim Jones needs. He might take it, might not, but take it or leave it. Capitol Police. I'm going to look at some comments, just prepping up the Capitol Police discussion. Let's see what people are talking about here. Just a week before I went on hospice, but hey, whoa, what was that? And the comments, because I see I'm seeing some comments. I'm like, whoa, what was everybody talking about? So I don't know. I got to figure out. I'm going to have to do dual screens. I don't have two screens. Most people have two screens. You need two screens. You need one screen for monitoring, and that's the way it will go. So I'll keep getting better. Do not worry about that. That's one thing about me. I will always try to strive to get better. I'm pulling up the Capitol Police discussion that I want to jump in the chat and see. Feels like I'm missing out on something. Capitol Police goes along with the topic I did a video on earlier on the Department of Homeland Security. Very similar, but I thought this was an interesting thing to talk about here. Let me take a look at you're talking about welding? Let's just take a look at some of the comments here. I want to take a little break and look at the comments. I felt like I missed them. Yeah, could try using a tablet for the second screen, because I do have a tablet. I guess got to set it up. David Good was laughing. I'm trying to see what's going on. Also, all set full. Cap Police are said to be under Pelosi's direction to attack Republicans. I am going to talk about that. You might be seeing fact checking out there that's saying this or that about the Capitol Police. I want to just talk about it. I think I have a grasp of what's really happening. Casual Goats has two monitors, one for anime, one for video games. I love both. I have not played video games in a while. If I won $1 billion and scheduled myself out, I'd probably do a Twitch channel. I'd be playing NBA 2K. Was one of my favorite games. A little bit of Madden too. Galvanize is bad. We're talking about. Yeah, I inhaled some plastic because I melted. Oh wow, this is. Casual Goat said F Apple. I can understand that. I like Apple products. I mean, I can't lie. But yeah, the company, any company that gets big, when Elon Musk leaves Tesla, or some people argue right now, Tesla will be a beast. He said weed is harder to quit than cigs. Kick those rather easily. That's not what the feedback I've heard from others. So everybody's different. I have never smoked anything. I was under a lot of pressure, peer pressure in college, because I was known as the person who never smoked around people who smoked all the time. I even passed the blunt, I even passed it around in the circle. I just never needed it. I just never got interested in it. And they wanted me to at least take a puff before I graduated. I never took a puff. It just did not interest me. And yeah, music was my high, I would say. Everybody has something to get a high, I think, from, like what their motivation is, like skiing and all these other things. Yep. So let's talk about Capitol Police. The Capitol Police is an organization or department that I have not thought much about, actually, till J6. At all until January 6th. I wasn't up on a lot of things until January 6th. So I went on the website looking around, like what's up with the Capitol Police? Capitol Police, federal law enforcement agency. This is an acronym that's new to me. USCP. They safeguard the Congress, members of Congress, employees, visitors, and congressional buildings and grounds from crime, disruption, and terrorism. Sounds good. You got important people in that building. They should be protected. We protect and secure Congress so it can fulfill its constitutional and legislative responsibilities in a safe, secure, and open environment. All good. We protect the legislative process, the symbol of our democracy. That's a term that should mean something, should be good, but I think people on all sides of the political aisle cringe when you hear that, because people on the right say it, left say it, and all it means is their view of democracy. The people who carry out the process and the millions of visitors who travel here to see democracy in action. Actually, in a field trip in elementary school or high school, I went to DC. We also protect everyone who visits the Capitol, who can see firsthand how we work to represent America's spirit and diversity. This is a fact check that goes alongside the comment I just posted. A lot of people have been saying Nancy Pelosi is at the head of this group. So I wanted to see who's in charge. I've never heard of it. I don't know what the hierarchy is. This is from PolitiFact. The claim that Pelosi was in charge of the Capitol Police on J6 is false, based on our research. While the House Speaker has some ties to police oversight, saying Pelosi is in charge of the agency isn't accurate. The agency is overseen by a 3-member board, none of whom are appointed by Pelosi. Additionally, the J6 Select Committee will investigate more than the Capitol Police, and there's no evidence Pelosi herself will be investigated. I'm sure Pelosi. So let's look on. So I said, okay. So that clearly looked like if she's not in charge, she's not in charge. So they said there was this board. So I said, okay, what's the board? This board oversees and supports the Capitol Police. And it's nice for the fact checkers to say that Nancy Pelosi isn't directly in charge of Capitol Police. But Nancy Pelosi launched a select committee, as we all know, to probe the J6 what people are calling the insurrection. That means she has power over the Capitol Police. That should not be hard it takes about 5 minutes to look through and see that she has immense power and influence over the Capitol Police. Because when ish hit the fan, who was the one investigating? It's Nancy Pelosi who launched the investigation. So this, to say that she is directly in charge is false, but these fact checks are almost worthless. That's why they say based on our research. We know who's in charge. Nancy is the one who runs things. Don't act like she's not in charge.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
I agree. I don't know who I am without it. Well, thank you for that little sneak peek. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
That's who's in charge. Let's not play games. Not directly in charge. This is the board. They said 3-member. I looked on the website, saw 4 people, whatever. These are the people who don't want to get on the wrong side of Nancy Pelosi. And hopefully in 2022, we'll have somebody else in that role. Capitol Police expansion now. So this is, you saw what their duties were. They expanded their duties to Florida and California. This was last year is when this came out. Why is the Capitol Police in Florida and California? Didn't we see what their duties were? This is from their website. It's to safeguard the Congress, members of Congress, employees, visitors, and congressional buildings and grounds from crime, disruption, and terrorism. Last I checked, that's not in Florida and California. Why is this happening? They're a very unique force when I started reading about it. But this stuff is like mind-blowing. It's really shocking. They're not required to respond to FOIA requests. It's because they're part of the legislative. I think it's because they're part of the legislative branch. It's almost like a secret force. It's almost like a secret police force. 2,000 strong, and it's the least transparent federal agency. They got plans for expansion and satellite offices. What's their jurisdiction? Here's a quote. We know they won't stay in their lane. We know they don't stay in their lane. The Capitol Police based in California, Florida will have no practical constraints and could target groups other than the rioters from J6 or anyone, people who are loyal to Trump or whoever else. And you could always say the reason why we're targeting them is for the safety of Congress. Just like I talked about the DHS, the midterms are coming. So they're running out of time if there's going to be a potential red wave with a powerful America First movement within it to control where that red wave goes. You can easily see them start to surveil anyone that's got a political axe to grind against the government. It could include unrelated groups like BLM. Things that have nothing to do with the Capitol might get caught up in these kinds of investigations. Maybe they might want to look at BLM. Where's the money? So the Capitol Police, they're not under Pelosi, but they better respect where Pelosi is. Back in 2001, they were going to arrest anyone who didn't comply with the mandate to muzzle themselves. This is what got me back into this topic. The Capitol Police ran up in his office. The Capitol Police entered my office without knowledge and photographed confidential legislative products protected by speech and debate clause enshrined in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 6. 2 days later, 3 intelligence officers attempted to enter my office. This is a member of Congress. while the House was in recess. Upon discovering a member of my staff, and he was on Tucker, last night, I believe, special agents dressed like construction workers began to question him as to the contents of a photograph taken illegally 2 days earlier. This is the Capitol Police. They never informed myself or senior level staff of their investigations, and he says the reasons are clear. He thinks it's because he's a vocal critic and a political adversary. We don't know that for sure, but the problem is we will never know. Might be time to rein in that government overreach. I just include this picture because it makes me feel good. When you see a story like this, even though we obviously don't agree on everything here with Trump and in this crowd, this is a crowd that doesn't like that kind of stuff. And they don't like it whether it's Black Lives Matter or someone else. I think most people don't. I think most people in this movement, they don't want the Capitol Police investigating somebody having powers they shouldn't have unconstitutionally, even if it's their enemy. And some people say that makes us vulnerable and we'll lose the battle because of it. But I say we have to be principled. Let me know what you think. Capitol Police, man, that is everything that I said about the Capitol Police in that little bit, I never knew before J6 and then some of it recently. Just so much about how our government works. You know, with all the election stuff too in 2020, I learned a lot about that, digging into it. Like what happens if there's a tie in the electoral college and all this kind of stuff that I've never in my life looked up. It was actually kind of fun, like learning about it. Gave extra motivation. I only have one more topic, and I want to come with this topic hopefully from a standpoint of how we can proceed, or I don't know, we'll see. It hurts. This topic does hurt me, and this, I'm talking about the bill in Florida. It's really called the Parental Rights Act. Let me look at it. I want to call it the right thing. Parental Rights. It's almost like Obamacare. Everyone, Rush was big on that too. Everyone called it Obamacare when it's really the Affordable Care Act. That's from the other side, but it was called the it was just called the Parents' Bill of Rights, basically. Now I want to start with, actually, hopefully this isn't too boring, but I want to read some of the actual bill, because people are saying all kinds of stuff. Like people were trying to say the Biden crack pipe story was false, and it wasn't false. I might have to do a separate video on that, because people are just saying things are misinformation or lies. Before I get into this, for example, I was watching a YouTuber who said the Biden crack pipe, people talking about the Biden administration crack pipe distribution was false, because people said that $30 million was going into buying crack pipes. That's a straw man argument. Nobody said that. It was part of the program, though. You never denied that. I'm playing a lot of games. But here's the bill, and maybe I'll skip around, but I want to just say what is factually in it. Literally just went to the website and pulled it up. This is part of the bill, much longer than that. An act relating to the parental rights in education, requiring district school boards to adopt procedures that comport with certain provisions of law for notifying a student's parent of specific information. So it's just notification there. Requiring such procedures to reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children in a specified manner. I just want someone to stop me when it doesn't make sense. I mean, none of this is crazy. You take this and you blow it up on the news and they talk about it on The View, and you read the bill and you're like, well, wouldn't you want that as a parent? So it's just talking about rights. Prohibiting the procedures from prohibiting a parent from assessing certain records, providing construction, prohibiting a school district from adopting procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent about specified information that encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold from a parent such information. This is giving parents power. No wonder they're attacking it. These people are pro-authoritarian. Anything that takes power away from the government is their God. That's how they view it. So anything that takes power away from the government, they don't like. This all seems reasonable. So prohibiting a school district from adopting procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying the parent about specified information or that encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold from a parent such information. So you don't tell a kid, don't tell your mom this, whatever it is. That shouldn't happen at school. Prohibiting school district personnel from discouraging or prohibiting parental notification and involvement in critical decisions affecting a student's mental, emotional, or physical well-being. Providing construction, prohibiting a school district from encouraging classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in primary grade levels or in a specified manner, authorizing a parent to bring in action against the school district to obtain a declaratory judgment that a school district procedure or practice violates certain provisions of law, providing for the additional award of injunctive relief damages and reasonable attorney fees and court costs to certain parents, requiring certain training developed or provided by a school district to adhere. So I think that's the heart of what I want to talk about. That's just part of the bill. It's not everything. But is that unreasonable? I want to bring this up. So this person said, Peyton, explaining Don't Say Gay bill to our 10-year-old last night made me realize why our parents didn't always like us watching the news. Trust me, DeSantis, our perfect family is much less of an embarrassment than you. Reevaluate your life, don't say gay, and that stuff. What I would do if I were the governor of Florida proposing this is I would speak out and say, this is not, your family is perfect. As much as, I don't want to overuse this word, but this is what I feel. Because I love our country, I have nothing but love. That's a beautiful family. Nothing but love for that family. That this bill is not to diminish or to bring hurt or harm to that family at all. You're Americans. We love you as fellow citizens. Your family's beautiful. That's a great picture. It hurts me that people, I just read the excerpt of the bill. It hurts me that people read that excerpt and then they turn to this. How do you get this from reading that? It's not, the bill is not an attack. It's to give parents rights. Your family's beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful families. When we talk about school and education, nothing should be hidden from parents. We've seen stories out there where it's been alleged that a teacher is talking to a kid and they're like, you know what? It's just between us. To hell it is. That's not hate. That's saying, I'm a parent, I should be involved. And we have to understand that we all live different lives. I listen to hip hop. Some people might listen to rock or something else more. I listen to all genres, but some people might listen to country more or noise more. It's the same type of thing. This is what Mayor Pete. It's what Mayor Pete had to say about it.
Dangerous legislation.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the reason is that it tells youth who are different or whose families are different that there's something wrong with them out of the gate. And I do think that contributes to the shocking levels of suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts among LGBTQ youth. You know, Chasten, my husband, pointed out that, you know, if our kids someday, some Monday morning, come into class and you know, kids are sitting around, the teacher's got the morning circle talking about how everybody's weekends went, and one of them says, I had the best weekend with my dad's. Is a teacher supposed to say, no, we don't talk about that here? You know, if it's at any age where it's appropriate to talk about, you know, a kid's mom and dad, then it should be appropriate to talk about a kid's mom or dad.
Is this dangerous legislation?
This is misinformation. The bill doesn't stop that. Why are you lying? That's misinformation. That's not true. The bill does not stop that discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the reason is that it tells youth who are different or whose families are different that there's something wrong with them out of the gate. And I do think that contributes to the shocking levels.
That's not what it tells. What it tells, if there's somebody if there's a child in the classroom who's struggling with identity or, you know, things of that nature, the parents have to be involved. That's what it's saying. And there is no place for a teacher to lead a child down a certain path. That's not your role. It doesn't tell the child that they don't belong. It tells the child that your parent belongs on this journey. This is misinformation that is lying or ignorance. Let's not do this. We played games with the pandemic, life or death, for 2 years. Then all of a sudden, the Democratic establishment wants to come and say, let's lift these things. Played games with life or death for 2 years. Midterms are coming, and it's like, let's ease back. That's politics. We can't be playing life or death with this stuff. This is children. Of course your parent has to be involved. Why are we playing politics with children? Mayor Pete, if you came on this channel, I would ask you, point to me in the bill where it says that. And I'm not moving from the topic until you find it. I don't care if it takes 3 hours. I got the bill here. We'll read the whole damn bill together. That's why they don't want them on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan will stop his show and say, pull it up, and tell his producer, pull it up real quick. I want to verify this. That's why he's on with this propaganda garbage. He just says that, and the guy's like, oh, yeah. Tell me where it's in the bill, Mayor Pete. We can't play games with this stuff. Why are we playing politics with people's identity, with children's identity? They called it snitch culture. Well, this is just somebody on Twitter. Called it a new GOP snitch culture is spreading. I'm going to read the whole bill just to make sure I haven't read the whole bill. I've just read excerpts. But I haven't seen anything in there. So the expert I read addresses some of what he's talking about. He's saying this is a snitch culture. Saying that a kid would have to say, mommy, a teacher did this, or somebody would have to, call a hotline. They literally have a hotline and say, hey, a teacher didn't allow me this information, or my kid told me the teacher did this. I misuse this word sometimes. Snitch only applies when you are doing dirt with somebody else and then you flip. So if me and a certain person are doing dirt, and then I get caught, and then I start saying he was doing dirt too, that's snitching. If I'm a law-abiding citizen and I say, there's a lot of people coming in and out of this house here. I don't know if it's a drug spot or not, but they have guns and it's crazy. Can the police come over and look? I feel scared. I'm dangerous. That's not snitching. So let's stop with the nonsense. That's not what's happening. Don't let anybody tell you that. What can we do? Spread the word. That's not true. Or maybe I always leave room to be wrong. If you disagree, point to me where in the bill it does that. The bill's online. I have the bill. I'll send it to you. Just highlight where you think it does that. Not an article, a quote from the actual bill. For some reason, that bill wasn't that hard to read. Some of the congressional bills are so difficult to get through. I'm going to end with this. Our good friend of show, or maybe not, Ibram X. Kendi of critical race theory fame says, imagine a bill barring your school from discussing you, a bill seeking to make an aspect of you invisible when you're struggling to see and be your full self and learn your full self in your world. These bills of bigotry are toxic to developing children. Where is it in the bill? Quote it. You got a PhD? Quote it. Give me some facts. The energy that the Democrat Party has is very weird to me. Well, I understand why, but when you look at it, they've got energy about this. And this again goes to the spoils and riches and the greatness of America, that we're so great that we can worry about this. Because when times are tough and you can't find food to eat, you're not worried about a bill like this. A bill like this wouldn't even be needed during those times. Let's take a trip to Baltimore and find out how the education system's going on over there.
Out of these students, 484 of them, or 77%, tested at an elementary school reading level. That includes 71 high school students who are reading at a kindergarten level and 88 students at a first grade level. That is shocking. It is shocking that 77% of the students in this high school are reading at an elementary school level. This is why we need to defund the public schools. People always say to me when I say defunding the public schools, they're like, Carlin, what are we going to do? Do you think that it could get much worse than this? There was a time when people actually cared about students learning how to read and write. There was a time in our country, and frankly in the world, when we were able to teach people how to read and write without the help of the goddamn schools. If this is the result that the schools are producing, then why are we funding them in the first place? To the tune of tens of thousands of dollars per student, and you can't teach them to read. You aren't teaching them to read. Naruto says, this is how they make someone a slave to the system. That is exactly right. That is exactly right.
So we can't teach children to read in Baltimore. These are high school seniors who are at the reading level of my 5-year-old son, maybe below. High school seniors in a major city, Baltimore, Democrat run. And Ibram X. Kendi is putting his energy towards teaching those children critical theory and arguing about a bill in Florida. Messing around with this Democrat Party is going to lead down some very dark paths for anyone who follows. I am done with the Democrat Party, even more than I've ever been. And I'm focusing just on them now. The GOP is part of them, but they are irrelevant. So I will keep bringing them up from time to time just because, if you just watch a video, you think I'm knocking the Democrat Party, but I love the GOP. It's time for for those who are thinking critically, if you think it's asinine to be focusing on the Florida bill, labeling it something that it isn't, if you think that's more important than taking a look at Baltimore and wondering what the hell is going on, where you've got 7-year-olds who can't read better than a 5-year-old, then you need to leave that party. I think we're going to see a lot of defects. Let me know what you think. So those are the stories that I had. Hopefully we can. I wish the Florida bill was a moment for us to come together, to say, I believe in this for my family. You believe in this for your family. I love what you believe in your family. I love the right for you to be your family. All we're saying is if this conversation comes up in school, it can't be had without a parent. And if there are some requests that the parent has to say, well, what's this documentation? What are you giving them? That must be provided. That's all it is. Here's the bill. Let's read it. Instead, we go back and forth over nonsense. Let's go back through some of the comments here and see here. Malcolm X was very based. So there, Malcolm X. Oh, I'll be out here in a second. I probably got about 5 minutes. Malcolm X, I divide him into pre and post Mecca. And I think he was more based post Mecca. He matured. But he said a lot of things. He was an impressive man. I don't agree with him on a lot or everything. People always put Malcolm X against Martin Luther King Jr. I think we can learn from both. I'm more of a Martin Luther King Jr. type of guy. But when I was listening to Noam Chomsky, downloading all his files from Napster, like I would download everything Noam Chomsky. I also download everything, speeches, everything Malcolm X, all his interviews and all that. He would sit down with anyone. We kind of miss those days where people would sit down with, didn't matter the political party. Dina Marie says, you couldn't pay me to vote Democrat. Oh, for sure. Now, I'm open-minded if because I think the Democrat Party as we know it is going to fall apart. So there's going to be a takeover of a new generation. We'll see what that comes up. Hopefully it's not the AOC, Cory Bush, these fake phony politicians. Allsat Full says, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. That is a classic Malcolm X quote. He had great quotes. Yeah. I forgot. I was going to post the Discord because I am going to have to be out right now. But let me post the link to the Discord in the chat so we can, especially after the show's going. I got to go. I got to do dishes, to be honest with you. My wife's probably like, these damn dishes, boy, if you don't get. My wife's like, man, if he doesn't come get those dishes, I swear to God, I'm going to go get those dishes real quick, clean up, and then we'll go out to eat. But here's, let me post in the chat, the Discord. Keep it going. And I appreciate everybody. Have a good evening and take care. Bye.